Alrighty, we are back with another episode of Clown World where nothing is impossible. This little GIF of Big Bird here just kind of summarizes the current timeline we're in. You know, this tweet says Aaron Rodgers is not entitled to have an opinion on the COVID vaccine or vaccine mandate of his own. So just shut up and listen to Big Bird. That's kind of where we are right now. The same people telling you should not be taking advice from NFL quarterbacks or from podcasters named Joe Rogan are telling you to listen to Big Bird and Don Lemon and Terry Bradshaw. You know, this Aaron Rodgers meltdown and media focus continues. And if you notice, like, they kind of forgot about Kyrie Irving. They have a new boogeyman at which they can bludgeon their views on. And it's Aaron Rodgers. And so as we speak right now, he is going back on, well, he's live right now on the Pat McAfee show to address the critics because, for what it's worth, he's not really taking it too well. I mean, he's handling it all right, but he's still upset that people are attacking him. He had to know it was coming. But nonetheless, I mean, he's standing his ground. He remains unvaccinated. They really don't like that his demeanor is really calm and that he's just kind of like, you know what? I said what I have to say. And, you know, it's very interesting. All the focus is on Aaron Rodgers and how he's not vaccinated and he got COVID. But what they're leaving out, the giant elephant in the room, is that he's not sick. He has no symptoms. In fact, he could have played Sunday. They could have used him on Sunday. He could have played. He could play right now. The only reason he had to sit out is because he tested positive. That's the only reason. So what does that say about their whole narrative? You have to get this vaccine. You have to get it. But, I mean, you have to take a test to see if you even have this thing. I mean, it's very interesting. It only just reaffirms his reason for not wanting to get it. One of his many reasons for not wanting to get it. The fact that he has COVID right now. He's in the COVID protocol right now. And he's not sick. He's not on bed rest. And that's true for so many people of his age group, of his physical fitness level. They're not really concerned about this. Now, some of them are vaccinated. I think a bunch of them are in the NFL. The majority of the people that he's surrounded by are vaccinated, but he's not allowed to give his opinion. And as predictable as I said it would be, Saturday Night Live did a sketch over the weekend, the very unfunny SNL. They couldn't have Alec Baldwin on there because, you know, he murdered somebody. But nonetheless, they got new people on there. They made him out to be some crazy person because he believes in bodily autonomy, wanted to make informed decisions about his own personal health. And so they had to make light of it because they know that their audience, the people who actually just watch Saturday Night Live, they probably didn't go listen to the podcast where he talked about why he didn't get it and how he got prescribed the kitchen sink. I'm not going to say the word because YouTube will get, they'll get all over me. But he got prescribed that by a doctor. They make it sound like Joe Rogan's just in an alleyway, just dealing it out. It's like, it's the most insane thing ever. These people have just lost their complete minds and they're panicking that their narrative is collapsing. They cannot keep control of their narrative. I can't look at Big Bird anymore. It's just too distracting. But I want to revisit Terry Bradshaw from Sunday on the NFL pregame show. Mind you, where he's at is the naval base in Maryland. This is all about like veterans and troops and everything else. And he took his time on this Sunday morning NFL pre-show to not only lie about Aaron Rodgers, he lied about the treatment Aaron Rodgers got, and then completely lying about the vaccine. So I want to play it again for people that may not have heard it yesterday.
I'd give Aaron Rodgers some advice. It would have been nice if he'd have just come to the Naval Academy and learned how to be honest.
Yeah.
He's about to lie.
learn not to lie, because that's what you did, Aaron. You lied to everyone. I understand immunized. What you were doing was taking stuff that would keep you from getting COVID-19.
False. False. Okay. If you listen to Aaron Rodgers, he didn't take anything. He did not take what he's about to call a cattle dewormer to prevent him from getting the virus. He had his own like holistic doctor and some little regimen to keep him from getting it. And while he still contracted it, even though that could be a false positive, but that's another story, he's not sick. So riddle me that one. So Terry Bradshaw, as he says, you should have come to the Naval Academy to learn not to lie, to be truthful. He's literally about to tell some more lies.
Got COVID-19. Ivermectin is a cattle dewormer. Sorry, folks. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah. See, now I don't know if Terry Bradshaw is legitimately a propagandist or if he just consumes CNN, because he's parroting the talking points used by Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo. They continue to say that because it makes the person who took that sound crazy. That's what it's all about. It's trying to paint the picture that that person is crazy. Now, people who are fans of Aaron Rodgers probably watched his podcast interview on Pat McAfee's show. And so they know what Aaron Rodgers said. So then they turn on NFL Sunday Morning and they watch Terry Bradshaw completely lie, and it just red pills them. It makes them wake up. They're like, wait a minute, you guys are lying hardcore on Aaron Rodgers. That's not what he said. That's not why he's took that treatment. And oh, by the way, a doctor prescribed it for him. So Terry Bradshaw, I don't know if he is lying on purpose, like if he knows that, or if he's just repeating what he heard from the most trusted name in news, CNN.
We are a divided nation politically. We're a divided nation on the COVID-19, whether or not to take the vaccine. And unfortunately, we've got players that pretty much think only about themselves. And I'm extremely disappointed in the actions of Aaron Rodgers.
And everybody else who watches any sport at all, you know that vaccinated players have had to miss games because they're still getting COVID. I know I sound like a broken record. I have to repeat it every single day. Just because you're vaccinated, that does not mean that you can't get COVID, can't spread COVID, can't be hospitalized due to COVID, and can't die from it. It's still literally happening. But they're blaming the boogeyman. Aaron Rodgers is the boogeyman, and the reason why he's the boogeyman is because he beat COVID. He survived. He's alive. He's gonna play again. But you're straight up lying about the effectiveness of this. If you're making it sound like it's this wonder drug, this miracle drug, you know, Joy Behar on The View, she was like, he is putting his teammates at risk when he's face to face with them in the huddle, breathing in their face. Joy, they're vaccinated. How can out of one side of their mouth they say you need to take it? It's been proven over and over to be safe and effective. But then on the other side of their mouth, they're like, you're putting all your teammates at risk because you're not vaccinated. They're telling you both of those things simultaneously, thinking that you're just going to swallow it. Just, yes, this is accurate. I'm taking it in, even though you guys are complete liars. They cannot stop lying about the people who have not been vaccinated, caught COVID and beat it, like Joe Rogan, like Tim Pool, like Aaron Rodgers, like many others. They're lying and just completely ignoring the fact that people have natural immunity. You're not allowed to talk about natural immunity anymore because that is now medical misinformation in this inverted clown world reality that they have superimposed into the subconscious mind of everybody, right? They keep lying on Aaron Rodgers, lying on the people that took it, lying on the regimen that they use, even though doctors prescribed it. They're telling you, stop taking your advice from people like this while they're giving you medical advice, lying about the effectiveness, and completely ignoring the fact that people who have gotten vaccinated are still catching COVID. It's happening. It's real. It's a thing. So either the vaccines work or they don't. You don't have to sell people on it. If it's so wonderful, you got to stop trying to hard sell it. So anyway, it's not just Terry Bradshaw. It is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has written an article making all these statements. They're they're losing their minds over it. And you love to see it. I hope there's more Aaron Rodgers. I hope there's more people coming out saying, yeah, I'm not vaccinated. All they can focus on is he lied, he lied, he lied. He didn't lie. He said he was immunized, right? He said that. He wasn't immunized in the way that you want him to be, which has made you upset. That's all they can focus on is he would be out there. He would have been able to play on Sunday had he been vaccinated, which is just an overt lie. But they don't care because they think that the majority of the people that watch them are completely dumb, just dumbed down, just like, yes, I'm taking this all in, right? Meanwhile, as it relates to this wonder drug from Big Pharma pays all these people to tell you it's a wonder drug. It's so amazing. German media reports puzzling surge in heart disease among soccer players. Puzzling surge. Puzzling. I wonder what's so puzzling about a bunch of young, healthy athletes who run for a living all of a sudden falling and collapsing on the soccer field, going into cardiac arrest, heart disease from people who run, people who get cardiovascular exercise for a living. Now, magically, all of a sudden, there's a puzzling surge in the number of people who have heart disease. Very, very interesting and bizarre. I wonder what it could be. Maybe it'll be addressed tonight on mainstream media. Maybe they'll talk about it. I know it's happening in Germany, right? It can never happen here. We won't hear about it here. It's just very interesting. Meanwhile, in France, the French Health Authority advises against Moderna COVID-19 vaccine for under 30s. I'm sure that's completely unrelated. I'm sure there's nothing to do with that. Very interesting, though. And this is just one of like many stories. Other countries have hit the pause button on vaccines for at least younger populations. But, you're not allowed to focus on that. You're not allowed to talk about it because if you do, you are a science-denying bigot. That's what it is. You just want to kill someone's grandma. You can only think about yourself by putting your own health first. It's the people that eat junk food and live a horrible lifestyle, probably engaging in way more high-risk behavior than you, that are wagging their finger in your face, patting themselves on the back because, look at me, I'm out here saving humanity, just being like this moral figure because I got injected with a pharmaceutical product. They're probably more unhealthy than people like Aaron Rodgers, people like me, people like Joe Rogan. Like I said yesterday, they would rather unvaccinated people die from COVID than admit that there's alternative treatments, that people have beaten it, that people have natural immunity, that the immune system is a thing. They would rather you die of COVID because they're so committed to their cult and their belief, their narrative. They need anything to reinforce their belief instead of admitting you guys got duped, you got lied to, and they continue to lie. So we'll see who the next Aaron Rodgers is. I have a feeling it'll be soon. Kyrie Irving. They're going after anybody. Ice Cube rejecting it. Many people with big followings, big names have rejected this medical tyranny and these mandates. You see giant crowds of people gathering in Los Angeles. I covered one a few weeks ago in New York City, marching across the Brooklyn Bridge. This is how we win. Their entire narrative is collapsing. And it can't work. They cannot be successful with what they're trying to do with this medical tyranny without, consent. You have to consent to this, right? Moving on. Let's talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Now, this is another narrative that's completely collapsing. This is what happens when you are committed to a narrative and you have an agenda instead of the facts and the evidence and the details. So I don't feel any different about this Kyle Rittenhouse situation than I did last year because I watched what happened. I watched it unfold. I watched as he was defending businesses against what, of course, the media is calling peaceful protesters against racial injustice for Jacob Blake. I watched that happen. I watched him. And of course, the still shots that are all over social media, you can see them for yourself and come to your own conclusion. that he was attacked and he was defending himself, but they cannot say that this was self-defense, even though their star witness has basically defended Kyle Rittenhouse. And if pictures could be worth 1,000 words or $1,000, 1,000,000 words, whatever that saying is that I just completely butchered, this would be it. A member of the prosecution for the Kyle Rittenhouse case literally struck a facepalm pose during court proceedings. This gesture of frustration happened after their star witness essentially defended Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand. He admitted that he not only chased Kyle Rittenhouse while he was running away, but he also pulled the gun out first. Case closed. Case closed. In my opinion, this is over. This is over. This is a chance for our justice system, our legal system, to get it right. Not get it right in the inverted way where the facts come out about the George Floyd situation and they just still throw the book at Derek Chauvin. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you just put the facts out there, the evidence, cross-examine whoever you want, call in your star witness, and let everything unfold naturally. This would be a chance for them to acquit Kyle Rittenhouse completely. He should be acquitted. Will he be acquitted? That remains to be seen. We'll have to stay tuned. Jack Posobiec has been covering this. So I've been because I'm not like watching the trial or anything live like that, but I get updates from people who have been watching, trustworthy sources that always have the receipts. So he's saying right now, his most recent tweet, MSM leaving out context again. Someone fired at Kyle Rittenhouse while Rosenbaum chased him through the parking lot. Kyle did not fire first shot. So even though you've got all the evidence, all the facts, the media has to keep whoever still watches them in a fog, in a brainwash. They have to keep that wool over their eyes. And 9 times out of 10, those people want that wool over their eyes. They're committed to a cause. They're committed to what they believe, what they want to be true, what feels right to them instead of what's actually true. Commitment to the truth should be more important than how you feel about what you think or what you want to believe is true. And what they want to believe is true is that this was a racist, white supremacist with a scary gun who just went and killed peaceful protesters against racial injustice. That's what they want you to believe, even though it's 1,000% false. So we're going to see. I think they're going to be giving their final statements today, tomorrow, maybe. We could have a verdict this week. I really don't know. But man, I'm just hoping that we see some justice, because right now there's no trust whatsoever in any of our institutions. None of them. This is an opportunity to restore some of that trust. Which brings me to this. I played this as well yesterday. You got George Floyd's nephew claiming that he knows people who are taking photos of the jurors in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and says they need the same result. Where is the FBI investigating this? This seems illegal to me. I didn't hear anything about it on the news last night, but I'm going to play the clip so you guys can hear it from his mouth yourself.
I ain't even gonna name the people that I know that's up in the Kenosha trial. But there's cameras in there. It's definitely cameras up in there, and there's definitely people taking pictures of the juries and everything like that. We know what's going on. So we need the same results, man. We need the same results. Justice for Dante Wright, justice for also. I ain't even gonna name the.
So he's saying, yeah, we know who the jurors are. So is that not a threat? That to me seems like a veiled threat. Hey, y'all better do the right thing because we know who you are. We'll find out your names. We'll show up to your house. We'll harass your wife, harass your kids. That's what it sounds like to me. That sounds like a dog whistle to the mob to put pressure on jurors to deliver their version of justice, the same result. Now, this guy, I can't believe, well, I guess I could probably believe that since the city of Minneapolis shelled out millions to the Floyd family. So he's probably sitting pretty. But I can't believe that he would sacrifice, assuming that he got paid. He got some kickbacks from his uncle dying. Assuming he got kickbacks. But to sacrifice your dignity to get the money is sad. How are you not more upset at the fact that they used your uncle's death for their own agenda? And that BLM fundraised, did all this stuff. You care so much about justice, but you don't care about the fact that this organization collected millions of dollars, didn't dump a dime into the Black community. See, it's always the people that scream Black Lives Matter the most that don't care that Black lives did not improve. In fact, they got worse and continue to get worse, especially with Hunter Biden's dad in the White House. They don't care. It's not about Black lives. It never was. They don't care. It's your own uncle. Your own uncle was used as a pawn. That's why Nancy Pelosi thanked him for dying. And you just sold out. You're more concerned about something that doesn't concern you at all. Guaranteed, you don't know the facts of the case. You haven't watched the trial at all. These are the people that are committed to a narrative and to an agenda. Facts be damned. They do not care about facts, evidence, truth, reality. They care about their agenda, which apparently is more destabilization, less public trust, and whatever else that comes along with the Marxist totalitarian takedown of our country. So good luck with that. Just being a pawn. That's what George Floyd's nephew is, a pawn. And issuing a threat to the jurors. Hey, we're going to find out who you are. You better convict Rittenhouse or it's going to be hard on you. But will Twitter investigate this? I'm thinking not. Probably not. Now, guys, check this out, right? Now, we talked about the Astroworld Festival yesterday, right? And now you've got, now that we've heard like testimony of people that were there and we've seen the images and we have more information now than we did over the weekend. You've got the Daily Beast with this article, TikTok and QAnon panic over Satanism conspiracies at deadly Travis Scott concert. So a news publication that calls itself the Daily Beast is trying to convince its readers that the devil doesn't exist. I find that to be ironic, if not disturbing. The best trick the devil ever played was convincing people he doesn't exist. Now, I also understand that sometimes the simplest answer is the right answer. But in this case, there is a whole lot more there than just, oh, this was just a tragic event of excited and overzealous concert goers that just, they let their enthusiasm and excitement to see a great show and performance get the best of them. And so people got trampled. It happens. I'm sure there's people going with that narrative. But the Daily Beast is programming people and gaslighting them against their better judgment that the images they saw, like this satanic portal, is not evidence of Satanism. This is just satanic panic. Or the promotion of the Astroworld event where you see people falling through a portal with a seeing eye, open your eyes to a whole new universe. I mean, all of the occult, ritualistic imagery was used in promotion of this. I mean, the stage, the setup, and there's also the fact that people who witnessed this live have made these claims. Like, it felt like they were in hell. It felt like a demonic ritual. It felt like a soul harvest. But they're trying to say, oh, it's just some of that more religious fundamentalism. These evangelical right-wing extremists calling everything they don't like Satanism, even though you see the signs in front of your face. You know, what used to be subliminal messages is now overt symbolism in your face, from Little Nas X to all the commercials you see, Microsoft with their commercial of the spirit cooking witch. And they're just saying, hey, this is just art, man. It's just art to eat a cake that's in a human shape and all of this stuff. Yeah, that's just art. It's normal. But the Travis Scott concert, see you on the other side. I mean, you got this shirt right here where this is people going through what looks like a doorway and emerging on the other side, having been transformed. I mean, the beginning of the concert, like to even enter the venue, you got the mouth of Travis Scott, and it looks like you're going through to another side. So all of the energy that went into it, whether this was intended or not, they always mock it. They always have to mock and they're basically making a mockery of people that can see what's happening, right? So that's why you see celebrities cover one eye or throw up the 666, and Jay-Z wearing shirts talking about do what thou wilt. Like, they put it right in your face. And then it's essentially like throwing rocks and hiding their hand. Like, what? We're not doing this isn't a demonic occult ritual. But think about this, right? Think about the way that they promoted it, all of the images that they used in this concert, all of the symbols on Travis Scott's shirt, to the music and the synths and the, for people who can compartmentalize music, like lyrics versus the songs and the beat and everything. I mean, they channel all of the vibrations and the frequencies and the negativity. So they basically are conjuring up negativity. I mean, look at all the effort that went into designing the stage and the show, and you had flames shooting in the air. There's energy behind that. There's energy behind the intentions of the people behind this show and the fact that the show kept going. And then people lost their lives at what was clearly them bringing about some kind of ritualistic satanic energy. But hey, the Daily Beast is telling you that's not symbolism. That's not Satanism. It's just more of that moral religious panic. It's not Satanism. So you had satanic panic trending on Twitter, right? They even put out a movie 2019 called Satanic Panic. Like I said, what was just subliminal messages back in the day is now overtly in your face. Tony Hawk, blood, putting my blood in paint for these skateboards. Please buy them. Little Nas X with human blood in the shoes. And I know a portion of my audience are not religious, not spiritual. What do you call all of this? What do you call it? Especially when we see the demoralization of our country. Who can honestly say that they feel good about the direction the country's going in? Now that this is like mainstream pop culture, and even people like Cardi B. Cardi B does not let her daughter listen to her music, even though Cardi B's music is marketed to young girls. Let that one sink in. But you know what? When I think about this like whole satanic panic and the fact that they're saying that's not Satanism, you guys are just crazy, you're delusional, paranoid, conspiracy theorists. You know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of McCarthyism. Remember Senator Joseph McCarthy sounding the alarm saying, I think that there is communist subversion going on in our country. They painted him out to be a crazy person for saying that, yes, I think that there is communist indoctrination, communist bad actors, subversion in our country. And this was back in what, the 30s, the 40s. And, fast forward to today, you got AOC, you got Bernie Sanders, you got Ilhan Omar, you've got teachers with Mao in their classroom. You've got actual communist policies in states like California. You've got this gigantic socialist communist spending bill that just got passed. So whether it's satanic panic or McCarthyism, what usually somebody is pounding the alarm and saying, hey, look at this. This is really happening. It ends up coming out to be true. And it becomes more visible. It becomes vivid. You can see it right away as it happens. Oh, I guess I didn't move this one over. I guess I talked about it already. Howard Stern, Jimmy Kimmel, pile on Aaron Rodgers. I didn't move that tab forward, but I'm going to move on to this climate change nonsense, right? Now, here's your favorite president that you voted in twice. And I know some of you say, I didn't vote for Obama. But you get what I'm saying. Like, America voted in this president twice. And let me get these super chats real quick. Let's go, Brandon, with Yuri Bezmenov. Yes, Yuri Bezmenov kind of warned us about this. A Soviet defector who said, you know what? America is kind of like the last bastion of like hope and freedom in the world. And if America falls to a communist subversion, you will have nowhere which to deflect to. Unlike me, who just defected from the Soviet Union, you will have nowhere to defect to. Very interesting. Thank you for the super chat. I got also one from Jay Kohler. Most, if not all, celebrities made a deal with the devil. You know which team they play for. We, the people, need to stick together. I mean, it cannot be more obvious. It's in their clothing. It's in it's on their album covers. It's in their outfits that they wear to these award shows, the Eyes Wide Shut parties. You see it in movies. You see it in cartoons. You see it in commercial. So, of course, you're going to see it at a rap show, and people just happen to die, lose their lives. Their last moments on this earth was them standing in front of a portal to hell. So, yes, it's very much real, even though the Daily Beast wants you to think it's just satanic panic. Good job there. But I want to move on to this climate change thing. You know, am I the only one that wonders why a bunch of elitists have to fly halfway across the world just to lecture you on climate change? You notice how it's the people lecturing you, the people who lecture you about living an ordinary life live an extraordinary life themselves. They don't want you living an average life, but they're living an extraordinary life. So Obama flies over to Scotland, I think that's where it was, to lecture and fearmonger about climate change. The guy that lives in Martha's Vineyard, huge carbon footprint, flew over there on a private jet. They didn't carpool or airpool. They all took their own individual private jets over to Scotland because I guess Zoom call meetings is just not a thing. They have to fly in person on separate jets to tell you that your carbon footprint is too big. And we need to do the tough work to get to carbon net zero.
I welcome any faction within the Republican Party in the United States that takes climate change seriously. And that may be a rare breed right now, but keep in mind, such Republican elected officials used to be commonplace, used to exist. President George H.W. Bush, a Republican, was one of the first U.S. presidents to officially recognize the threat of climate change, was a signatory to the Rio Accord.
George Bush, a Republican in name only. Globalist George Bush. Cabal George Bush. Skull and bones George Bush. Just remember that. The cremation of care, Bohemian Grove, you know, normal stuff that he was engaged in. So you had a former president that did mock human sacrifices as part of his skull and bones initiation, weird stuff. But there's just satanic panic, right? Then you had a former president who flew to Pedophile Island with Jeffrey Epstein, even though he denies it. Those are two of your former presidents, one being a Republican. I guess he had to point that out. And, you know, Republicans aren't taking climate change seriously, even though John Kerry flew to Martha's Vineyard for Obama's 60th birthday party on a private jet. You know, Martha's Vineyard, that is supposed to be underwater by now. I'm pretty sure it was like by 20, I don't even know. I don't remember which year it was, but it's supposed to be underwater. So Obama, he better hurry up, man. I mean, time's running out. You might want to evacuate and you might want to take a rowboat back to the United States and stop emitting all this fuel into the atmosphere, right? Oh, I welcome any Republican. You know, people that have been skeptical of you saying the sky is falling. The sky is falling. By this year, this time, this date, the sky will fall. And then when the sky doesn't fall, and you've said it a bunch of times, we're like, wait a minute, I think you're lying. I think you're lying. It's literally in the book. They teach you this, at least they used to, in elementary school. Who doesn't remember The Boy Who Cried Wolf or Chicken Little? The sky is falling. I remember those lessons. Maybe don't lie about something multiple times and expect to be taken seriously. So no, I will not be reducing my carbon footprint. I'm going to have a steak tonight. Thank you very much, Barry. You hypocrite. All right. Who remembers this, right? This is from back. I don't even remember when this was. This might even have been in the 70s. A new level of clown world has emerged, but I want to give you the context through Bernie's words here.
You know, it's funny, sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death.
Do you see how these communists, these people that are just completely committed to destroying your life, they have to do every mental gymnastic that their brain can conjure up, including praising bread lines. So this was Bernie Sanders, a literal communist, doing this back in the 70s. Fast forward to 2021, and you have this now deleted article from MSNBC saying why the inflation we're seeing is now a good thing. How is that any different from what Bernie just said? Do you see how they have to do everything within their power to convince you that what's happening to you is actually something you should embrace? It's good that gas prices are going up because we're getting towards our goal of carbon net zero. Even though we're extracting wealth from you as you have to spend your hard-earned money on essentials, basics, you shouldn't be, even if you somehow have managed to make more money under the Biden regime, you're spending more on it, spending more of your money on gas, on heating your house, on groceries. It's not like you're out there splurging. You're spending more of your money on stuff that used to be really cheap and abundant. So what they're doing is they're basically telling you, get used to this new norm. This is an exercise to see how far they can push you. So that's why, and now MSNBC, why did they have to delete this? I wonder. Too much right-wing backlash? So they caved? Do they not feel good about it? They feel insecure about putting this out there? Did their own followers convince them? You should probably take this down because it's really stupid. But they are trying to convince you that the inflation you're seeing right now is a good thing. Get used to the labor shortages. You notice how they've lied so much? These people can't stop lying, whether it's about COVID, whether it's about boogeyman, white supremacy. It's everywhere. Everywhere you go, even though you can't see it, it's just like Wi-Fi. White supremacy and racism are everywhere you go. They lie about it. They lie about critical race theory. They lie about the supply chain issues. First, they say, there's no inflation, there's no supply chain issues. Then they admit that there's supply chain issues, but they say, oh, it's just temporary, it's just seasonal. Then they say, well, it's because more people are back to work. More people have money now, and so it's a good thing that there aren't products on the shelf because so many people have the money to buy it, they just can't keep up with the stock. And now they're saying, well, it's due to COVID. Everybody's sick. So we have a labor shortage. That's why. Do you see how they just jump from lie to lie to lie to lie? During this live stream right now, they are lying about something. They just cycle through COVID, climate change, supply chain shortage and inflation, racism, white supremacy, January 6th, Kyle Rittenhouse, Brett Kavanaugh, Covington Catholic. They continue to just circle through their lies to keep sheep sleep, keep them brainwashed, dumbed down, divorced from reality, and telling you, hey, it's okay. It's a good thing. If you just squint your eyes and tilt your head to the side, you'll learn to accept this new normal of, gas prices high, out on top of gas shortages. We're shutting down pipelines. That's a good thing. Get used to your grocery stores being bare shelves. That's a good thing. Lining up for bread is a good thing because poor people would starve otherwise. They continue to lie and lie and lie, and they want to lie you into oblivion. It'll honestly make you crazy the way that they lie. So yeah, MSNBC deleting this. I wonder why. Lying about COVID, lying about climate change. The list goes on and on. I find this headline hilarious. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris approval ratings low after disappointing election results. Okay, this headline implies that their approval rating was high. I even responded to somebody on Twitter who said, like, pretty much like breaking, Joe Biden's approval rating plunges to 38%. Plunge implies that it was extremely high. What makes you think his approval rating was ever anywhere near even 50%? Who are the people, better yet, who are the people that approve of Joe Biden? You can't find them anywhere outside of elitists and talking heads in the media. Bootlickers in corporate media are the only people that run defense for Joe Biden. Find someone in your neighborhood that's like, yes, I love this Build Back Better agenda. They're getting frustrated. They're getting pissed off too. Half of them probably have to have so much pride that they can't actually admit that they made a mistake when they voted for this man. Who can say that their lives have improved since he took office? Now, Kamala Harris, apparently her approval rating is even lower, like the lowest in recorded history. Her approval rating is like 29% or something like that. It's not shocking. It's not shocking to me. I thought it would be in the single digits. Nobody likes her. She's unpopular. She's not authentic at all. She lies. She's awkward. She's cringe. And she's super corrupt. You're not allowed to reference that she slept with a married man to advance her political career. People pearl clutch over that when you say Joe in the hole. Really? People focused on the wrong things. How could you say something like that? It's so vulgar. Yeah, it's the same people that said, you're not allowed to say, let's go, Brandon. They should investigate that Southwest pilot. That's just vulgar. The same people who say that we're okay with the Nipsey Hussle song, F Donald Trump. They're okay with Kathy Griffin holding up a severed head. These people aren't authentic. They're not real. That's it, guys. I think I just kind of went on a little tear right there. I had to just, rip off some topics right there. I should really actually wrap the stream up because my little guy's going to be here soon. He might already be here. But yeah, it's just another day in the office. This clown world, upside down reality, down is up is down. You're the extremists. Don't take your medical advice from Joe Rogan. Take it from Big Bird and Don Lemon and everybody else who coincidentally is pro-vaccine. That's who you should get your medical advice from. Don't get it from people like Aaron Rodgers. He's just a crazy, delusional extremist who took horse dewormer. Take it from Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw knows best. Listen to liars. Liars know what's best for you. That's essentially what this is all about. Listen to the liars. Ignore what you see, what you experience. Listen to us. It might be sunny where you live right now, but we're telling you that it's raining, so you better grab your umbrella before you go outside. Don't look out your window. Grab your umbrella, your raincoat, your rain boots. Prepare for a soggy day, even though when you go outside, the sun is shining. So people who call you a conspiracy theorist, somebody who's just paranoid, these are the people that have on like 3 masks while driving, double vaccinated, and still afraid of COVID. Just gonna point that out. All right. Now, I am going to wrap this up really quickly, but I see I got another super chat, I believe, from Judy. Judy says, pray and keep our Lord in your hearts and souls. I mean, it's so imperative right now that people, whether or not you believe in God, just do some soul searching and ask yourself, like, what do you think is going on in this world? How do you make sense of it? Right? if it's not a battle playing out between good and evil, then what is it? What do you call it? As children are being indoctrinated, sexualized, they're blurring the lines, they're using science for evil. All this ritualistic type sacrifice, Fauci torturing dogs, what's it going to do to humans? People just getting away with all this stuff, all the lies. Remember, they wanted to sexual orientation, pedophilia to be a sexual orientation. Stuff is not fringe. This stuff is making its way into the mainstream. They called it fringe in 2015. Oh, sure, yeah. But now that it's mainstream, they're singing songs about coming for your children. They feel emboldened. They're having these concerts, which aren't concerts. Somebody corrected me yesterday when I called it a concert. No, you're correct. It wasn't a concert. It was a ritual. They're having rituals with symbolism that's demonic and evil, and then people are dying at these events, these rituals. You tell me, when in your life have you seen all of these sets of circumstances, medical tyranny, climate change tyranny coming down the pipeline, extraordinary racial tension being driven, lack of resources fighting, chaos, turmoil, political prisoners, persecution of people that were defending themselves, Kyle Rittenhouse. You tell me, when you've seen all of this happening at one time and continuously spiraling towards a dark age, tell me when you saw that before. I'll tell you how we get our way out of it. Find God, find truth, however you discern truth, find it. And, embrace the light. Light has no fellowship with darkness. This is why you won't see me at one of these rituals, any one of these concerts. And I'm guilty of still, every once in a while, listening to a hip hop song or watching a show that has some kind of like symbolism in it. It's an old habit that needs to die. That's pretty much it. But light has no fellowship with darkness. And that's why you see the lines kind of drawn in the sand. And I think if people just wake up and see what's happening, and they really are, when they see what's happening to some of their people that they either like or look up to or whatever, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or whoever it is, and then they see the way that the media, these wicked, evil people who lie for a living every day are trying to do to our country, to our world, I think people will snap out of it quickly. And in the end, God wins. And that's my final word for today. So I'm wrapping up, guys. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you to the super chatters, to the moderators, to the people who give it a thumbs up, which hopefully you're doing right now. Give this stream a thumbs up. I will be back tomorrow with more of this crazy, fringe, far-right extremist content that they're telling you is not popular. I'll be back with that tomorrow. So God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you in the next stream.